prevailing theme this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. Gonna wait and see what the market has to deliver. I think it's already delivering some stuff. The market is already delivering. I want to put this message up here bright and early. Bright and early. Do not let FOMO get you. A lot of stuff is moving right now. It pop. Now, if you was into some stuff from yesterday, then maybe you'll go ahead and get your, close those things. And IV drain is probably happening this morning. So if you got some positions and you want to take your profits off the table, you might want to go on and do that. Those of us who are sellers, though, are probably our premiums may be up, so you may have to wait till the drain happens so you can get your money, because the implied volatility from yesterday is probably still there. You got to give it a minute. Let me get some light here. You got to give it a minute to let that drain out, so that way you can get, the premiums can drop or whatever. Morning ward. But definitely, I want to make sure that I put this message out loud and clear. Do not let FOMO get you. Do not jump out there because people are posting and things are being said. And you're like, I can get me some. Yep, you probably could. And I'm not saying don't trade wisely, but I'm saying if you've got a trading plan, then follow your trading plan. Okay. This ain't the first day that something gonna run hard. All right. A lot of stuff is moving this morning, but you don't want to get caught in the crossfire, because this is the way that the market takes money straight out your hand and put it in theirs. And you don't want to be the person, or the person who relinquishes your cash. You don't want to be the one that relinquishes your cash to the market, right? Good morning, Jamie. How you today?
Despondent.
Despondent. Well, that's real. That's real. That's real. I've decided that I'm in the position of, and some people will see this as a kind of, anyway. Some people may not agree, but my position at this point is, my God is still in control and is still running all the things, and I'm gonna rest in that. I'm going to rest in that piece of information. I'm gonna continue to do what, because in my, for me, yesterday, same stuff. It ain't the same stuff I had to do yesterday. I still got to do that same stuff today. I still got to come in here and teach students, because it don't matter who changed yesterday from today. I still got to teach us how to do one-to-one functions and how to do inverse functions. We still got to do that, right? I still got to keep on doing all the stuff. Chart and trade still starts on 11/11. It's just what we're doing. So life goes on. We're just going to continue. I'm going to continue to trust in the one I've been trusting in all this time, through all the seasons. I agree that despondency could definitely be an emotion. Um, but I'm gonna just continue as anybody else to continue to make it. I'm gonna make it do what it do. I'm gonna make it do what it do. I think that's all we can do. That's my position, though. That's everybody doesn't feel that way, because there's things we can control and there's things we can't. So Janae says happy midweek, at least try to let us get this money. Get some of it. Again, I'm not saying don't trade. I'm saying if you're gonna get in your, it's gonna be a lot of volatility today, though. So be wise, be mindful. Um and make sure that you follow your trading plan. That's all I'm saying. If you put together a trading plan, let's use that trading plan. Just use it. Be wise. Don't just jump in stuff just cause somebody said. Just cause somebody said let's do this or let's do that. Don't do that. Right? Alrighty. I did release some of you may have seen, it's still showing up. Thank you. may have seen this. I thought I had the link to the video actually in the comments, but that must have went away. I put out the video of 5 post-election stocks to trade, and you can go ahead and watch that video. Let the ads play. Let the ads play. Go ahead and watch that video so you can see what I'm talking about there. Because stuff is gonna be stuff. Good morning. I think Tifa's on here. Tanya's on here. Good morning. Tanya says she's in her sim today. Good morning, Marsha. Ward said amen. Um, yeah. Jamie, I cut you off when I asked you about how you were doing. Besides despondent, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
My soapbox is too big for us to be on this morning,
Okay,
but
thank you. Jump on a soapbox.
the only thing I'll say is about this whole situation is I feel like America cannot be trusted with votes. That's number one, and number two, um, the thing to remember though, even though I don't get all, let's say, caught up in what's going on with the election, the fact of the matter is, no matter what a politician tells you their platform is, you still gonna need people on the other side to vote for that stuff. So even though Trump has pretty much all but said he wants to be a dictator, you still gonna have the other side
Yeah.
voting. So
There's
I
other
mean,
houses that control that. One person doesn't really get to
yeah,
make
I
all the
mean,
decisions.
so
Yeah.
even if you have, a mostly Republican house, that I mean, yeah, that means that he's more likely to get his stuff pushed through, but you still gonna need the other side to do some voting on that.
Mhm.
So it's not
Mhm.
like, I don't think I've ever seen the presidency where everything went through perfectly from start
Mm-mm.
to finish as the
Mm-mm.
way they wanted it to be.
Mhm.
So but I will say this, and I'm not throwing any shade at Trump supporters, but I will say the main thing that I don't like about Trump supporters is if you don't vote for Trump, the accusation is that you hate Donald Trump. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, that's not entirely true. I love Donald Trump. As a celebrity,
Mhm.
I do not like him as a politician,
Mhm.
but as a celebrity, that dude is gonna sell some paper. He gonna eyeballs is gonna. If I was starting some type of something where I needed people to watch, Donald Trump is the first person I would have tried to get. Because whether I like what he says or not, he's going to generate some type of activity. I just don't like what he does when it comes to politics.
Mm.
That's a whole totally different thing. So, having him as a president again makes me go, you know what? We might have to fast and pray that God sends another pandemic. Not that we want one, but if that's what it's going to take for me to get through the next 4 years, I mean, you know, because this is people, the thing that people forget about these situations is not about what your president does right now. It's about the things that they can put in place that's going to happen when they leave office. That's the part that I think people miss out on.
Mhm.
They're putting stuff, your president puts stuff in place. It all doesn't take effect during their administration. So that's kind of the thing that I'm also worried about. Like, okay, well, what is this dude finna set up for when he got of office? And the scary part is this guy is the best that the Republicans had to offer. He can only run twice. So if this is the best that they had, what is they gonna come up with on the next election?
True.
That's gonna be scary.
Mhm. True, true.
Scary might be the wrong word, but that's gonna be interesting. I am
But we
very
take all of
disappointed.
it in stride.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. We had to vote for what was there, but I cannot say that what I thought I saw was the best quality America had to offer. But maybe it is for this time frame.
Mhm.
It is what it is.
Well, let's focus on the business at hand, which is what this stock market is doing. Let's go ahead and do that. You can take over from here too. It's basically November the 6th, the day after the election. It's Wednesday, it's hump day. So we're still going to do our thing and um, do our good technical analysis. Check out what's what and who's who. Good morning, Ray. And Jamie, the floor is yours.
The floor is yours. All right. The last thing I'll say about that too is I'm very disappointed that this is the second time a female has run for president and lost. I'm a little disappointed about that as well. But that's just me.
I
All
don't know
right.
if America's ready for a female yet, and if even if it is, it's not ready
Ah,
for a woman of color. So I think America, first of all, we may get, I think we're ready for a woman, but not quite. But a woman, and then but the woman of color is almost like throwing two things in at one time. I don't know if America's ready for those two pieces, but
who should have ran for president with the vice president, it should have been Michelle Obama and Oprah. We would have won this with a landslide. That'd have
no,
been
not just that. I'm thinking even if Hillary had won, we might have had a chance. I'm a Hillary fan. Either way, let's move off of that. Let's move off of that onto the market.
so
Yeah.
anyway. That's who I voted for was Hillary anyway. On that first one. So European stocks is mixed with FTSE being the only one up. Everybody. Um, yeah. Asia, mostly up. HSI and Shanghai are the only two down, with HSI being down the most in this situation. Crypto has gone simply bananas. The idea for crypto is that Trump pushes for less regulation in a lot of areas. And so the idea would be there would be more, or should I say, less regulations on crypto. So that has been getting a lot of attention. So I'm not surprised that that has started trending in the direction that it is trending in terms of that. A lot of the news being reported for crypto or questions about whether or not it's going to reach $1 million in 2025. Those kind of questions keep coming up anyway. So I expect that to continue. But earnings, we did have, I think the main one that stood out for today was CVS and Johnson Controls, along with Toyota. Toyota did report this morning. We're open tomorrow. After close today, ARM, AMC, Qualcomm, AppLovin. I'm looking at IonQ. Mercado Libre is one that does not get a lot of attention. Mercado Libre, best way to describe them would be the Amazon of Brazil. That's how I would describe them.
Is
Before
it
open tomorrow.
Brazil? I thought Mercado Libre was Mexican, but I could be wrong. I just was an assumption of mine. It's in Brazil?
Okay, fine. South America.
I didn't know. I don't know. I'm not challenging you. I'm just asking.
I know it's non-United States.
Well, we do know that, and it's some from some Spanish speaking place.
Right. Where is Uruguay?
Yeah. Uh,
Montevideo. Anybody know where these places are?
it says Uruguay.
Right. Isn't that in
Yeah.
Brazil?
Is it? Please don't ask me nothing about anything geographical. I am not your girl.
Wait a minute. Miss Bahrain talking about she's not geographical?
Listen, I only knew where that was because somebody told me. It's not like I and when I
Mm,
describe it to people, I always say that it's near Dubai. Ray
all right.
says it's South America.
South America. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so anyway,
Mercado Libre.
Mercado Libre is
Um,
from a Spanish space, a Spanish
Ion
place.
Q is
South
at the
America, it
bottom.
says.
So
Okay.
Datadog tomorrow. Moderna is tomorrow as well. Barrick for gold. Hershey is tomorrow. Before the open, after close, we got DraftKings, Block, and of course Rivian, who we don't hear much about anymore. We got some more tech with Unity, Trade Desk, Affirm, and Fortinet on tomorrow after close with Pinterest and Airbnb in there. Friday, the main one is Canopy Growth Group and Sony. So, and Blooming Brands, depending on if you like steak. All right. Blooming Brands, Alyssa, is not what?
In case you like steak.
as opposed to cannabis.
Speaking
So
of cannabis, in Florida, Florida was voting for an amendment. Amendment 3 was to allow the public use, no, personal use of cannabis, the personal use of marijuana. That was one of the things on our amendments for Florida, and it did not pass for us. It needed to have at least 60% to pass, and it get like 54% as of last, counting this morning. Maybe enough, maybe some other votes are going to come in and push it. I don't know, but anyway, as of this morning, it didn't pass for personal use of marijuana. So I don't know what's going to be the fallout of that piece of information. Um, yeah, so that all these different amendments, which every state I think has their own, there's always follow on actions. It's always, even though it says like one thing, there's always some, I won't say hidden agendas, but definitely agendas underneath. Um, well, Florida has, Janae said she didn't think felons could vote in Florida, and they've repealed that. So Florida, you can get your voting rights back here in Florida. It's a process that you can, but you can get your voting rights back. Well, I was going to say
that's a
something
state by
about
state thing,
felons,
apparently.
huh?
So that's a
What you
state by state thing.
It must be. It must be. I guess I don't have to say, but I know in Florida there are people. I know people who were like really fighting on the front lines to get their voting rights back here in the state. So I'm assuming I was going to talk about felons in government, but I am not going to touch that topic right now because if felons can lead, they ought to be able to vote. Continue, Jamie, with what you're doing.
Okay. Well, let's swing around to Mancini. Whoops. Wrong one. As warned since Sunday, while the magnitude of this move was extreme, the setup that caused it was the same that causes every major rally. A failed breakdown on Monday. All-time highs was the magnet. We see this setup 4 to 5 times a week. 58.94 equals support to keep rally going. Dip. 58.76, 58.62 below. 58.76, 58.62 below. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show this price on the right side. And we're gonna show this one on the right side. So we can see what we're doing. And let's add 58.62, which is about where it's at right now anyway. 58 and 62. All right, Chief. What we got here is this is the 15-minute. This is SPX. And since we're sitting here, let's mark our first 15-minute candle. I don't know why this is doing this. Here, what I want. Y'all see that? I'm selecting the line, right? Yeah. All right. So we'll do here and we'll do here. So it is sitting right within that first candle. So we have that. It gapped up this morning. No surprise there. All right. So what we will do is make this adjustment and account for that gap up on SPX. All right. So that's what we got going on right now. All right. So let's pull this down a little bit. And we'll do that. Um, Janae is saying she's finding it fuzzy to read the number. I can't increase the size of the font on there. And then if I do,
I do see that there's some the what the font, not the font, but particular font, not the size, but the particular font that you're doing is making it really close together. So we might have to look at changing like from Arial to Times New Roman, whatever, something like when I say font, I'm talking about that kind because it does make it the numbers, the little extra thing around the sides of it is making them. I have noticed the same thing. It is kind of too close to see really good what's going on. Of course, I know you put it into the telegrams and people can see it there too, and it'll be, of
Oh, I
course,
thought she
easier
was
to read.
talking about
She's talking about the Mancini. I'm thinking she's talking about the Mancini numbers.
oh, see, you gotta be more clear. I thought she was talking about on the chart.
No, I think she's talking about Mancini numbers.
Oh. Okay. Y'all do know that y'all can like increase the tap on the picture when you and then blow it up, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's the full issue. I think part of it is the numbers do seem to be close, and whatever that little outline thing is around the numbers makes them run right into next to each other.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
Can we continue or no?
Oh yeah, continue.
Okay. So this is what happened on yesterday for those who are not necessarily people who dwell in the past, but like to know what happened on the previous day. We have when this opened, we had a gap up yesterday, and it just took off yesterday. Yes, it based a little bit right in here, but didn't play around. Probably for anticipation for what was going to be happening today. Um, so that little bit of motion did happen. Um, Spy. I thought I had it in this list here. SP and Y. I'm gonna look on the daily chart for Spy. Here's the gap up for Spy. And I do mean it is showing up nice on this one. So it gapped up past its previous high. Won't. And it is sitting up there. So that's something to bear in mind if you're going to be trading SPY. We are at the top. And I don't even know why. Anybody know? I hate to ask any question about Thinkorswim because when you ask a question about Thinkorswim, everybody's first thing is, maybe you should try using trade. But the question is about Thinkorswim. Anybody know how to reset the
That ain't everybody's answer.
is more it's enough of it to irritate me to not want to
Okay,
ask. How about that?
ask the question, sir.
So how do we I want to change what this chart default is. Can I do that? Because it is extremely annoying to every time I go into a chart and it starts with something
Yeah.
that I did not select.
Yeah,
So
I
how
have that same problem. I don't have the answer because I want mine to expand. I think you can. I think I don't know where, but I think it's something to do with how many candles show in the box, and you can adjust the amount of candles that show in that box, and that is what helps reset it every time. Because every time you go into a chart, I have to hit plus 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 to make it big enough. I think it comes down to how much data shows in each box in the box when you set,
but
and it's
I
the
was referring to mainly like the color. Thank you for that. But I was referring to like
oh.
the
Now
color,
that should
like the
stay the
whole.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have to keep going in here resetting stuff, and I'm like, why do I got to go in here
Yeah, you
and,
shouldn't have to keep doing that.
reset
You
the
are
candle
under a
color
certain
every time?
style. You know how you go up for style. You have selected a style. It should continue to give you that same style every time.
All right,
See
that
where it
means I'm gonna have to
says
look at something
see
style
where it says
related.
load style. You might have
Yeah,
to like when you get it set the way you want it, then you see where it says save style. When
yeah,
you
we're
get
gonna have
it
to.
to what you want, you got to save that style, and then when you load that, it should always populate with that same style. Okay, style will
Okay.
include the indicators you want, the colors you want, and all the stuff. Okay. And I see I didn't even say you should use TradingView because
Thank
this
you. I
that's a
appreciate
good
that.
question. That's a good question. And I think you will do want Thinkorswim to do what you want it to do.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
it. I appreciate that. I literally just had it happen on Friday, by the way. I'm making a statement about thinking swim, but somebody brings up trading. It literally just happened on Friday.
Oh, well, I believe
Um,
that, we're creatures of habit.
yeah. So, well, thank you for the input, and I'll take a look at that.
Okay.
So we just broke past our most previous high. Um, this was a nice buyer zone. I did not, of course, expect it to gap up like this, but I did note that it had created this buyer zone in here. Um, so this is since this gap is right here, and that this is a buyer's gap. I would be expecting that it would be trying to bounce off that a little bit. Um, no particular time frame, you know, that I think, but uh, I expect it to be bouncing off that for a little bit. Ain't no telling what's about to go down. So this is what, to me, what our listener was kind of referring to. Oops, this is the one. Oh, this is the one. I was gonna say about the volatility. You had mentioned. I thought you were saying that things might be a little more volatile this morning. Is that what you were saying?
I was saying that the volatility was from yesterday, but that was all gonna drain out today. So it's almost like the earnings happened last night. Yesterday had a lot of IV built in, and then this morning that IV drain would happen where premiums people were like, "Oh, I got up." So you wait, then IV drains off of it first thing at the open, and the same premiums won't be there. So the volatility of the up and down may also be there today, but definitely know that the IV. Today's a good day for us to look. It's Wednesday. If you want to look for, trades for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
sorry. That I don't know if that was your question, but
Okay. Thank you. 579 is where I was looking at for a put credit spread. That's what I would be looking at. 579. It's about 80% of the money. Some of us would do 76% of the money. 18 cent though. You're looking between, I would say, 15 to 18 cent. These are going at 580, which is about right here for the put credit spread. I would not even remotely suggest anybody trying to do a call credit spread right now. Um, but I know some of y'all like me a little on the dangerous side, so go ahead and do your thing. But
we don't know anybody who does that. What are you talking about?
yeah, yeah, we don't know nobody. I done got burned way too many times messing around. So, but that's where I would do. I would be down there, put credit spread, and I feel a little bit safer. Sitting right inside of this gap, 580 is right there. I mean, and I would still wait. I started investigating around 10, 10, 15 on anything that I'm looking at, but this might be a good time to start peaking. Okay, this is Russell, and so these. See, I've been using the drawing set to change stuff, which actually has been giving me what I need. But um, yeah, so we're gonna have to add in the style stuff to it. See, I thought this was gonna be a bearish wedge by the way this was looking. And if it was gonna be a bearish wedge, I was expecting it to break coming down this way. Psych.
And well, wait. Just because it jumped out of the top, don't mean it's gonna stay up there. It can
Very
come right back into that zone.
I do agree with you.
hmm
I do agree with you. That
I mean,
is
I'm
very
not
well
saying it
possible.
will, but I'm saying just because it jumped out based on stuff doesn't mean it won't drop right. I mean, stuff is falling right now, so doesn't mean it won't come right back into that
Very,
zone.
very, very true. Very true. But it definitely still went against what I was drawing up. I was a little disappointed to see it drop. It went up that hard. Like, I was that far off. Jesus, get me a little bit
Well, what
closer to
what
being
what's our rule? What's our guidelines though? It ain't where it goes, it's where it close.
right.
We're talking about the day. It could come right on back in there and fill that gap that it just left.
Oh yeah, I mean that's always true, but you
Mhm.
still don't like seeing it when you look at the chart. All
Right.
right. So Here we go with this. This is a previous gap that I'm gonna make sure we bring on over. And then this is the current gap. Boom. Russell 2000 is a PDT hack fave of mine. I trade the Russell 2000. I try to apply all strategies that I'm looking at to Russell 2000. This one is starting to try to break out. This candle has one more minute to close. It's very likely that it could continue up. And I'm probably gonna have to change this 15-minute to 180 days to be fine. Looking to see what's going on back here in terms of levels. And I do the same thing on SPX on the 15-minute chart. See Jack. All right. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna bore you out with that. So, did I hit that button? Sorry, y'all. Posting people messages. Was that me? All right. So we on 15-minute on Russell. We're waiting for it to break out. We looked at SPY. We looked at SPX. What else? Somebody, Jeff was saying that he sold Google, Netflix, Apple, and Netflix PCS earlier. All hit at 0.01. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, everything ran up and he was able to get out, which why my response was that
I cannot sing the money song
close them when
because the
they're you can sing it, just only sing a few bars.
no, because see, the one that popped in
Money
my mind
ma
was yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. The one that popped in my mind was the OJ's, and you need you need more than 3 seconds in order to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like ah,
I said close them when they're ready is the same as see profit, take profit. When it hits the point oh 0.01 or gets to worthless, you close them. Yes, it's only Wednesday. People are like, I'm gonna wait till Friday. Close them mugs and take that money and go to something else with it. Close them up and go on to the next thing with those. That's how that works. Jamie, I'm gonna jump in just for a minute. Um, then we'll swing back to you. I was speaking of seeing stuff and talking about Wednesday. This is the list of trend spreads from Peakbot, the alerts list that shows up this morning. Microsoft on the Iron Condor, XLE, which I don't really like how XLE moves. Last week I had my trade was completely out of the money, but it still was worth more than I received when I went into it. That didn't make any sense to me. So I don't trade XLE anymore, not even in my sim. AMD is
wait a minute.
on
Can you
the
repeat that?
well, I had XLE last week
Right.
and I received $22 to enter the trade on XLE. I had like 86.87 or yeah, 86.87 was my strikes for a put credit spread.
Okay.
And at the end of the week, it expired at 89. It expired at 89. So it was not at my strike, but it was worth $35 at expiration on Friday. I only took in 22 and it was $2 away from my strike, $2 away from my strike. But the spread was still worth it was worth $35, which was, $13 more than what I received. $2 away from my strike, it was still worth more. So basically, even though it was not at my strike, the value of the XLE spread was higher than what I took in. So it showed up as a loss. It did not go down to zero. It was still worth $35, which I don't know how that's even possible, how that works, because that doesn't make any sense to me. But on Friday, even though it expired at 89, it was still worth $35 and my trade showed a negative 12 or $13.
Okay. You did a put credit spread or call credit spread.
Put credit spread. Yes.
So that would mean that okay. I wonder would some of the energy companies not doing well, meaning bearish after earnings or during earnings, be part of that?
I
reason?
don't know. I mean, we're talking about Friday after market was closed. So after market is closed on with a Friday expiration on a spread, it should have drained down to something that was at least less than what I received.
So
But and
regardless of how earnings wouldn't have caused that to happen.
I would think not. Not after. I mean, maybe during if I was in the during the trading day, maybe. But on a Friday after, nobody reports Friday after market closes. Nobody reports earnings
Mm,
in the
gotcha,
energy. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like during the week. I didn't get it actually. I didn't understand why it would do that. So because
gotcha.
XLE trying to move funny, listen, I get too many other stocks. So I was like, okay, we'll put you on the do not do list.
Okay.
So that's how we gonna do that. XLE was there. So AMD is also on the iron condor or the neutral list. I'd be careful with the AMD just because crypto and those things and the semi that space seems to be moving a bit today. But this is Wednesday, so look at your do your charting and see what you see. But iron condor on AMD is showing up. Janae says energy may be wonky. Yes. And then another one that's in the Iron Condor list is Uber. This one may offer some good opportunities because Uber has showed up a few times and it shouldn't be getting affected by all the other stuff. I mean, as far as it's just not in the crypto space, it's not in the semiconductor space, and it's Wednesday. I don't know if anybody in that space is having earnings this week, but Uber doesn't have earnings. So that may be one that you look at for an iron condor. Maybe if you're going to chart some stuff, maybe Jamie, you can chart AMD and Uber if you so choose. But those are three that I see. Microsoft, AMD, and Uber are three that are currently on the I could be iron condors for Friday expiration. Okay. All righty, righty, righty. I wanted to share a couple more things and then I'm going to give you back the con. Don't forget that if you are hanging out with us, I do have resources and things that are freebies. They have a whole freebies area. E2T-freebies.com. HTTP E2T-freebies.com. .com, not .bomb. You can go over there and see the free resources that are there. I haven't brought this up in a minute, but I wanted to bring it up again this morning. The E2T for freebies. I can't roll my R's like Jamie does. Freebies is as good as mine gets. Jamie has a whole roll on his R's. I can't do it like that. Chart and trade is still open. It's going to start Monday. Chart and trade starts on Monday. You can go to chartyourway to 100k.com. Should be running along the bottom. Chartyourway to 100k.com to get yourself registered. That group there's a Facebook group that's running and they're already getting information and already starting to prepare. So if you're trying to come to chart and trade, you might want to go ahead and get in so that way you're getting the pre-exercises available to you as well. Okay. I believe that's all I wanted to talk about. Back to you, Jamie.
All righty. E2T freebies.com. What were we talking about? AMD and what was the other one?
Microsoft and Uber.
Oh, that was way off. Okay.
AMD, Microsoft, and Uber.
Oh, it was all three of them. Got
All
it.
of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
All
right.
three of them. Looking for iron
Um,
condors.
so let's just name this swing points for right now. All right. And all right. For those of you who do not use Thinkorswim, this is a side panel right here that you can click this arrow, There's a small arrow right here to open. And you have down here, if you click this plus sign, you have these options of things that you can put here that you can access really quick. Okay. And so on mine, I chose to have a calculator and the scratch pad, which is for notes. And I will be honest with y'all. And then I have the watch list. You can always add in like live audio information, live news, things of that nature. I have no problem telling you that it takes everything in me to not add this Tetris game in here. I played Tetris so much in college that it was just egregious. I'll just say it was egregious. It was egregious. I bought a Game Boy when I was in Nintendo had that Game Boy, and I bought it, and let's just say I did a whole lot of Tetris playing. Um, Whereas some people will be ashamed, I am proud to say that nobody, and I mean nobody, can pack better than me when it's time to move. Guess who everybody was calling? Me. Because I kept telling them, I play Tetris. I know how to pack this whole everything. I was the most efficient packer. So I wasn't just playing Tetris and it didn't help. But I cannot add that game to this to this brokerage app. I would never get a trade in.
Talk about distracted. I mean, you'd be
No,
completely distracted.
no, I can't do it. Like I've been
Oh, goodness.
it was that is my favorite game. That I shouldn't say it's my favorite game, but it's the one I definitely played the most. You know, we wrote to for Nintendo back in the day. So by the time I got to college and can get a Game Boy, man, you know your boy was on it. All right. So for AMD, we do have a buyer's gap happening here. Yeah, let's see. I won't do the whole top-down analysis, but I will do the buyer and the seller zones that I see for AMD. AMD is Nvidia's cousin, so and I mean that literally. The CEOs are cousins. The CEOs in real life are actually cousins. So
In
I
real
mean that
life.
literally. They are they are cousins. Um, so this is a parity line. This line has been supporting resistance before, it's been touched. But I have, in terms of a buyer and seller zone, I have AMD currently right here. It looks like it's coming out of a buyer zone right here, trying to head its way up. Okay. Then we got a seller zone that will be up here. And or some people may even do this and just make this a cheer. So I don't want to ignore that because I know different people chart different ways. So some people will put this as the seller zone. What I'm charting up here is leg in, base, leg out with a strong leg out. But I've seen this charted leg in. This will be the base. This will be the leg out. So I'm acknowledging both. It looks like it is trying to push up because there are buyers in here. So that's what it looks like on the chart. Trade is 3. So if we were looking at put credit spread, I'll be looking at 139. Whoops, 139, which is 15 cents. This is one spread, $100 of collateral. And so one spread, $100, $100 of collateral. 139 is right here. Pull this back about there. So we're that just under this distal line right there. So we are below current support when it comes to that. Then of course, since it's kind of sitting right there, you can also look at, so that would be 15 cents. We can look at what's going on above it. If it's, well, I guess, I mean, I would be kind of sort of okay with 147, which would be 20 cents. 147 would be here. 7 is right there in this area, which is actually is a little bit closer to what we were marking as the bottom of this base in this chair right here. But it does have a high for today. So I'll be a little bit more skeptical of doing the call credit spread right now today, just because the day is still moving. We don't know what's going on, but I'll be okay with at least putting in the put credit spread for that. All right, Alyssa. Alyssa says stay green on today. Alrighty. So that's what I'll be looking at for that. This is turning around. Looks like it's turning around, coming out of the buyer zone after being bearish a little bit. But later again, I will let it ride for a minute to see what's going to happen. But I'll be looking to put a call credit spread in somewhere up in here though, where there is some resistance. Okay, let's look at Uber. Uber just had earnings. And let's do this. All right. Take a look at earn now. So this is a good example. Put the word good in quotations. This looks just like what we were talking about before, a head and shoulders formation. This is what I would have considered a head and shoulders formation. Right. I'm gonna draw it out. This is a head and shoulders formation. When we talk about chart patterns, oh, I don't have it on this screen. Let me pull it up on the screen. Head and shoulder formations. These are candle patterns. And we talk about hello Silena. We talk about these candle patterns. This is in our Telegram group. All you got to do is go into the group and search hashtag candle patterns. This is shows us continuation and reversal patterns for bearish and bullish. And generally what happens is, as we look at these candles, many times these individual candles can start shape and sometimes at least give us a hint, or at least a place to start investigating on the direction that it may continue going in terms of price, right? So in this case, I noticed the head and shoulders because on a head and shoulders formation, which would be a reversal pattern, what that means is price was coming up. And once I saw that it cleared this, it went up here this high. But when it came back down, it couldn't get back up. It couldn't get anywhere up higher than what it was before. And so usually that means when you see this drastic uptick and it stands out way above, if it starts coming back down, for me, that signals a possible head and shoulders, meaning it's going to reverse and continue down. Obviously, nothing looks as pretty as the charts when you see them, but to give you a visual representation of what I was talking about, I would have put this something like here, and this is where it gets a little finicky, but normally it would be like right here and then go up. But let's say if even if we did it this way, right? This would be the left shoulder, right shoulder. I'm sorry, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, something like that. Um, but the idea is this other side didn't make it all the way up to the top, and it ended up being end up dropping down. So somebody else might say just to do it like this, which I would not disagree with at all. This came down, like regardless of how we do it, the point is it hit a point that it couldn't get past and it started reversing. That's the first thing I saw when I came into this chart. But the other thing is this. So this is going to be this is the gap up, wrong direction. This is the gap down. And let's go right there. So this is the gap down, and maybe we'll put this. This is the day gap because we're on the day chart. And I'm just putting I'm just putting this on so I can show what the direction was of the gap. I usually just put that in the text. So DGP just stands for, on my chart, it just stands for day gap. And then let me know what the direction is. That's why I got the arrow there. So it's pointed down, right? So as you can see, you got all of this activity. This will be my seller zone though. Leg in, base, leg out. And I have a nice amount of cushion right here, which ends up being about $4 or $5 in this case. And after it gapped down, price has been trying to get in there and has not been able to. So I will be first looking at a call credit spread on this, since I have that cushion, and I would be okay with the strike of 75. So that's about somewhere between 17 and 19 cents on $100 collateral. Actually, no, this is the wrong one. I'm sorry. No, that's right. 70. No, that's the right one. Okay. So 17 cent. Yeah, 17 cent. So let's see. 75 would be about right here. 75 is at the bottom of this. Right? So there's still a high that it will have to clear. This the high of this candle, it will still have to clear. The bottom of this right here, roughly, is 75. So it could always hit that and bounce off. But just generally speaking, if this is iron condor territory, I would be okay with putting that one up there. And then what's left over here is a kind of a really weird buyer zone, if you will. But we will mark it anyway and move on to the next one. This is what I'm seeing is a leg in, base, leg out. Funny looking leg out, but this has already come over here and touched it already. Duplicado. And then just to make sure we can see the sellers, I would be looking at that. Of course, once you try to get all the way up here, there's not a lot of premiums right now, unless you are trying to go further out. Right? This is in the 80 was an 80 strike. So if you're trying to do an 80 strike right now, you don't have any premiums sitting in there. But if you were to go probably, I would say probably 2 more weeks out, but right now, if you just, I'm using 80 strike as an example because I know some people like to be that high up. Your percentages for out the money is like 94%. So you will be out the money, but you're not going to get real high premiums if you're that high up. But at 76% out the money or 82% out the money, slowly inching your way up. And don't forget, this 77.5, that's a half a, it's a 0.5 spread. So you have to go for a one spread. But I usually aim at 80% out the money when I'm looking at these. But for a one spread, you're not doing too horrible if you're looking at that 75% out the money ish. This would be 78. So 16 cents. So that's $16 on $100 collateral. If you up here, and the buyers are trying to push that up right now. So there's a lot of people that will be trying to get in there. So as an iron condor, I can see that being, you'll be well over 10-15% return on collateral. That's for sure. So that would be worth looking into. Last but not least, Microsoft. So here is this gap right here, which we should all be, with all of the charts we've seen recently, we should be used to seeing that gap down, right? So this is the gap that I'm looking at, and because of this gap there, I can already see the seller zone that is sitting right there. Right? Leg in, base, and a gap down for the leg out. Very strong seller reaction. This is the daily chart. We are looking at Microsoft. Right there. So far, this is the seller zone. Actually, I could pull this up a little bit. Do it this way. Yep. So far, after it gapped down, price gap down, when it came back up here when it tried to, this has been pushing its way up, is a better way of saying it. Because it gapped down to right here. And so over time, it has been pushing its way up. So what actually happened at first for Microsoft was, if we put it down here, it was actually reacting to this gap at first. After it first came through, tried to get up through there. Today's candle, of course, is the one that pushed it up. So we'll see what ends up happening after today. See if any of these prices end up staying a little bit longer term into Friday and next week. This is the buyer zone that I have. Leg in. I got 3 in the base here. Leg in, 3 in the base, leg out. So buyer zone, seller zone. Because of this gap right here, I would not have a problem looking at the put credits. I mean, the call credit spread side. Actually, I already have a trade in. Now that I think about it, I think I put this in last night. Yeah. Didn't I put this in last night? Yeah. I got 420, 422.5. 420, 422.5. Yeah, so I was looking at this yesterday and I ended up getting in this trade. So 420, there it is. Now this of course accepted this morning. I'm in my sim, by the way, just so y'all know. I'm a sim millionaire. So I do all my testing in the sim. But actually, now that I think about it, when I heard the bell going off this morning, uh I didn't realize that it was for that trade that I put in for Microsoft. So this 425, 427.5. So this is 425, 427.5. In here, all right. So I put the first one in last night before all this movement happened. Then put this one in right now. For expiration on this Friday. And both of these are expirations on this Friday. 10:44. I could have waited till this candle closes. We typically wait till the candle closes to get in. So I had about 30 seconds left. Even though that candle closing thing might more so be for the 15-minute chart, I kind of use it to generally. But yeah, so but then we can always put the other one in right now, which I'll wait on. But in terms of what is that? So that's 36 cents. This is a 2.5 spread. I have Microsoft on my watch list because it is a 2.5 spread. Again, none of this is investment advice, but Microsoft is on there because it's a 2.5 spread. I got a couple other ones on there. I think FedEx, I think Nvidia, Netflix. There's a couple of them on here. That's just because the collateral is lower than SPX, which is 5 spread. All right. These two are trades that we did yesterday. We did the Dow Jones yesterday. If you were on the call, it showed up as diamonds or something like that. When we typed it in, DIA, it's Spider Dow Jones Industrial Average. But then when it right here it shows up as diamonds, still haven't figured that part out. But so the trade that we did yesterday was it closed, so that was a successful trade. All right. Okay, enough of boring, y'all. We need to get to because I am trying not to geek out right now, and it is getting more and more difficult. All right. Mancini out. So today, crude oil inventories, orange folder, 30-year bond auction, yellow folder. So crude oil inventories is orange folder, 30-year bond auction is at 1 o'clock, yellow folder for Forex Factory. Investing.com. We go. 30-year mortgage rate. The MBA 30-year mortgage rate, the mortgage applications for MBA week over week, both 1 stars along with the MBA purchase index, the market index, and the mortgage refinance index. That started at 7 o'clock this morning. 3 stars at 10:30 was crude oil inventories. And then 1 star, we had the EIA refinery crude runs week over week. Crude oil imports as well. Both of those were 1 star. 2 stars for the Cushing crude oil inventories. And then the distillate fuel production 1 star, along with the EIA weekly distillate stocks, gasoline production, and the heating oil stockpiles, all 1 star, with the EIA weekly refinery utilization rates week over week, and the gasoline inventories, all 1 stars. 30-year bond auction is at 1 o'clock. That is 3 stars over here. So there's a 3-star event at 1 o'clock. That's something that we might want to be aware of if that is one of the times that you enter. Okay. Just keep that in mind. All right. So looks like we hit everything we need to hit in tech news, which is my background. So I'm usually talking about tech stuff. Amazon, I posted in the Telegram group for the past at least 6 months. I have been telling everybody about Amazon Prime and their delivery drones and how they were starting to get regulation, approval to be able to fly those drones and deliver packages, and they have been testing it. The FAA has, given them approval to even go another step. And I'm telling you, all of my spidey senses are being triggered right now because what I believe is going to end up happening is they're going to continue to test it. They're going to continue to expand it, and that's going to end up being its own industry. It might start with Amazon, but drone delivery. I mean, obviously we know that drones are popular and people are doing things with drones, but I mean specifically for what Amazon is trying to do with their customers. Do not be surprised if that somehow ends up being adopted by Walmart and whoever else wants to deliver to customers quickly in the future. So it started with Amazon, but I think it's going to build to something way bigger. All right. Because of the election, some of the stocks are going to get impacted different ways, some of the sectors. Do not be surprised when it comes to Bitcoin, for example, which I was looking at Coinbase earlier. That's what I trade, or that's what's on my watch list in terms of anything Bitcoin related. But it sounds like Donald Trump wants to get more deregulation for crypto. I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth, but I am saying, from I look at Coinbase, COIN, for anything related to Bitcoin and the crypto space. That's the chart that I run to first. So I will be watching Coinbase definitely, and probably paying a lot more attention to them since he is in office and he seems to be tied to making that easier. Solar stocks might take a hit. That's because he does not seem to be on board with solar stocks as much as other presidents may have been. So that's something to keep in contact. That also that may impact EV. So that's something to be aware of, because of course we do trade in those spaces as well. We were just talking about Rivian earlier, as one of the car companies that was traded. They've been, doing their thing, but if you go ahead and do some research on Rivian and take a look at what they got going on, you probably be able to connect the dots with here's Rivian right here. I think it's RIVN is theirs. So that'll be something to pay attention to if you are connecting the dots between the presidency and stock trading. There might be something there. All right. Let's swing back to our indexes. The Dow Jones is currently up 3.03%. The S&P is up 1.79%. The NASDAQ is up 2.07%. The Russell 2K is up the most, 4.84%. The VIX is down 20%. The VIX is down 20%, 16.33. That is what is happening. Okie dokie. All right. So let's do our E2T daily declaration. By faith, I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Okie dokie. The election is now over. That doesn't mean that there will not be any volatility happening for the rest of the day and possibly for the rest of the week. Who knows? But we do have the event at 1:00, which is a 3-star event for investing.com. So definitely be aware of that. Make sure you check the charts before you enter to be on the safe side. By the way, I was just talking about the stocks in the EV space. Here are two of them right here: Enphase and First Solar, ENPH and FSLR. Those are two. They didn't do well this morning, but that just caught my eye right there. Those are two of the ones that I was talking about um, in terms of being in that space. So those are ones to watch. So anyway, trade carefully, stay green, get this money. If you need anything, have any questions, you can tag us in our Telegram group and or leave a comment in the chat box, in the comment box. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and you all have a great trading day.